Welcome, Wall Street Tactical fans. Today we have Mark K from StrikeForce Technologies. Very happy to have you here, Mark.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Well, Mark, you've been working at this company for at least 18 years as a CEO. You joined about a couple years after StrikeForce started. So what brought you into StrikeForce? What made you engage and want to join?
Well, it's actually the year after. I was working at JP Morgan for 26 years, come to think of it. Yeah. And I was a managing director there. So I was doing very well, but it was getting tiring. And I just felt I needed a change. At the same time that they had addressed me through a friend I knew, and they gave me an opportunity to work for them. And I felt, you know what, they're coming up with some new ideas. They talked about out-of-band authentication, which 21 years earlier was a very unique thing. They said, this sounds like could be a great opportunity, a brilliant technical guy on the company. And they asked me to join them as the CEO. And I felt it made sense, so I did.
Very interesting. So, Mark, a little bit about Wall Street Tactical, and for our viewers, we saw a recent press release from Stock Day where you had an interview with the host Everett Jolly, and you had mentioned that you had announced that a new crypto company had licensed the company's mobile authentication software. Would you like to comment regarding that? Obviously, without revealing any non-public information, what can you comment regarding that deal?
Well, they're actually going to be announcing themselves next week, and we'll be putting out a PR on them when that happens. As I said in that PR that you're talking about, as I said, in about a month's time, they will have their website up, and we will be doing another PR and announcing them. And I will be announcing them, and they will be talking about the new coin that they've developed and how they're moving it forward. And the somewhat, I can't tell you how many, but the somewhat number of companies they're going to be selling it for them and how much they think they're going to be making on it. It's a huge opportunity. And we are obviously partners with them in going forward. So we feel it's very good, very big. And it is a crypto company, but it's still StrikeForce doing the deal.
Congratulations on that, by the way. And the second question I wanted to ask is, how do you feel about Safe VChat as it's placed amongst the many other options in the marketplace today?
All right, well, that's the best question you could ask me. So thank you. Safe VChat is definitely our direction. It's what we're spending all of our time and efforts on these days. It's a video conferencing tool, but not just a video conferencing tool. It's a secure video conferencing tool. It's not just like all the other video conferencing tools out there, such as Zoom and WebEx and all the others that are built as video conferencing tools. This was built on top of a product that does authentication. This was built on our Protect ID, which has an out-of-band authentication patent, and it is a very, very strong, many types of authentication. It could be facial, it could be fingerprint, it could be phone out of band, it could be any of those methods. One of those is always required when you sign on to Safe VChat. So you couldn't get Zoom bombed. It's impossible for that to happen. You only can invite people onto that call and the video conference and the collaboration, which we'll be implementing shortly, only if they are authenticated on. So if you get a Zoom link, for instance, you can give it to anybody, and anybody can come on your Zoom link. With ours, you can't, because you have to be authenticated to get in. So the person must be invited by the creator and somebody who knows it very well, and therefore it is not open to anybody and is not open to Zoom bombs that constantly happening to the point where Right.
There's been so many of those Zoom bombs, by the way. There's actually viral YouTubers who have made their entire YouTube career off of bombing people's Zooms.
Right. And then people laugh at it. And if you don't need an authentication or a secure video conference, fine, use it. It's great for that. But if you want to be secure, and most things people do these days want to be secure, especially with the war going on, and cybersecurity is such a huge effort, we're fighting that every day with cybersecurity. This is a very big cybersecurity product. So we feel very good about it.
Can you talk a little bit about the encryption level that it offers?
Probably not much because I'm not too detailed technically,
No problem.
but it does offer you your standard encryption that I think all the other vendors have that as well. And again, within the authentication, you're totally encrypted in terms of the encryption being passed through. Nobody can steal it on the way. And you can pick a very simple process to get on, or you can pick a complicated, secure process. You can decide at the time of your setting up that call and video conference. So it gives you the flexibility.
And what about the user interface? Do you feel like it's very user friendly? Have you spent a lot of time on user interface studies?
Yeah, at first it wasn't too friendly at all, to be honest, and we weren't that proud about it. But then came out in September, but then we added a lot to it, made it stronger. So when we put it out by the end of the year, matter of fact, the last day of the year, that's when we added recording to it, and we added a lot more features and capabilities. So as of today, you can actually get on just by clicking join me, and that's all you have to do. And then it automatically comes up. It automatically authenticates you in the process, though. Your join me link is specific to you. It is a one-time password that comes up and automatically puts it into the link for you. So it is very user-friendly in that case. And most of our users saying, this is great, this is easy. Now, it's not the most secure, so some people may not like that, in which case they could pick a method to be secure, such as a facial. We now do facial bios. I mean, you have to be you. You can't be somebody else and get your facial accepted. So it goes from not too strong to a very strong method of authentication, but you have to be authenticated. And one thing we learned this week that has zero trust. It's based on zero trust. We don't trust anybody on anything without them making sure you're authenticated.
And for the viewers who may not know about SafeChat, or different companies looking to implement this into their software solution pipeline, what is the best place they can go to learn more about it and to download it or to secure a license for?
Right. And that's a great product. And you actually said something in there that sounds very interesting. Because if somebody wants it within their own product, if they want to bundle it in their own processing, which we are now implementing. It's taken us forever to do it. And the client we're doing it with is very slow, but we are doing it as we're talking. They paid us a lot of money to build it, which we've put out there. So that's 70 grand, but we're putting it in, and it will be live within another month is their prediction of when they'll be done. It's up to them now, but it will be a major client putting it into production with their clients, and they're a managed service. For a managed service, it's a perfect example.
And is there a website regarding SafeVChat?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, there's a website called SafeVChat, SafeVChat.com, that you can get on and see exactly what it does in detail. And you can actually buy it right there as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great. That was really for the viewers. If you're interested, check out SafeVChat.com. It's simply said, safe video chat. Makes very good sense. It's secure. It's a new alternative. Okay.
And keeping in mind, again, when you do that, you're not just buying SafeVChat. You're actually buying SafeVChat with Protect IDs with it. But we don't want to confuse everybody, so we leave it out of the discussion.
Very clear. Very clear. The next question I had was regarding the introduction of a 4-level classification that you mentioned with Everett, and how that is kind of a foundation.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, well, we put out, I shouldn't say the IT group put out a white paper that talks about the 4 levels of security, because with video conferencing, nobody ever thought of having to have a secure video conference before. It was not even a discussion. So NIST doesn't do it. Nobody in the government does it today. But we put out this white paper that says video conferencing must be secure, and this is what it requires, and everybody should be buying into this process. We have a lot to do to get people to buy into it, but we're actually talking to a lot of the congressmen, a lot of the senators. We have a PR firm behind it. We have the IT group getting involved, and we are working with everybody to have a secure video conferencing with rules and regulations. That's what it means, that includes. And we don't even do all 4 right now. We do 3, but we'll be working on all 4 in the very near future. And we think it's a fantastic way to go. because video conferencing is here to stay forever and ever in this day and age.
Absolutely. And a little bit background, we are working with SEG Universe. We're software developers ourselves. Our question is, and this is mainly for the viewers, the difference, and you can touch on this, Mark, the difference is in a browser like Zoom and Google Meets, there's TLS encryption in the browser. That's where you get the HTTPS. What you're talking about is a classification of steps that are further than just web-based encryption that ensure that the individual is the person they are saying they are that's joining the call. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And you can't get any more simplified than saying it takes a picture of your face. Hello, you got to be you. You can't cheat on that one.
Yeah.
And if you figured out a way to do it, let me know. I'd be interested. I'm sure there's some phenomenal way to do it, but typically it does not fail.
Wonderful. So now I'm going to hand it over to Mark. I'm sure he has some questions. And so, Mr. Verso, please go ahead.
Yeah. And so, Mark, I was going to ask, about the growth that StrikeForce is having. I noticed the partnership program, which you're currently engaged in. Is there any other partners that you see in terms of expanding the business for StrikeForce?
Well, if you talk about partners as resellers, I mean, we do have a number of resellers involved. Not too many have sold too many of them, but they're now starting to. We're getting new sales. We just hired in the past 3 months 4 new salespeople. We've been trying to hire them for the past 8 months, but the past 4 months, 4 weeks, we've actually hired them, and they're on board. 3 of them are on board right now. The 4th we hired, but he won't be here till next week. So they are, and one of them's job solely is channel partners, to go after the channel partners, to get them interested, get them seeing what's going on, and to talk to them a lot. We also, but the main thing is we also have, the tools that we just built with the APIs that you as a company can take our product within your own environment, put it in your own processing, and as part of, let's say, giving to someone to buy something, it automatically come up with a video conference in the middle of it, and you have an immediate contact, and then 2 minutes later you finished it and it goes away, and you don't have to come to specific to Safety Chat. You're using our product in that process through our APIs, and that's
I just
phenomenal.
want to touch on that. So all of you developers out there who are watching, SafeVChat has an API that's available that you can use in your software development pipeline. Is that correct?
That is very correct, and we spent a long time building it, and there are actually 22 APIs that make up that API, just for what it's worth, because there are a lot of pieces you have to have. But you're right, within your own development, within your own program, you could stop the program for a second, do a video conference, and continue the program throughout, and not switch programs, and not switch companies, and not switch what you're doing. It's phenomenal. Matter of fact, the company we're bringing on board with this capability that hopefully will be there within a month, as they told us, and we hope. But they built this, and they thought they came out of there, and they physically got Zoom, WebEx, and all these other companies saying no to them. They didn't want to do that with them. Where we said, sure, that sounds quite interesting. And we built it over a long period of time that they paid us for. And we think it's a fantastic idea. And we're going to build it forward and provide it to anybody that ever wants it. And we're going to be selling it on our website. That's what talk about the future. You're saying, what do we like? That's something in the future. We're going to be selling Safety Chat. We're going to be selling Privacy Lock as well. And I'm going to be selling the API as a product that we didn't figure out what to call it yet, but we will. And that'll be a third product we'll be selling separately.
Okay, so that's exciting. So it sounds like you have a lot of service lines and product offerings, and you have this API integration capability for future developers to use into their existing SaaS products.
Exactly.
Okay. The next question I'm going to ask is about Brazil. I'm going to leave it open-ended there. If you can just take over from there and tell us a little bit about what's happening in that region for you.
Well, as you know, we bought another company in the past year and a half, however, 2 years ago, I don't remember exactly when, called CRS. And they are a cyber wellness company, and they're part of StrikeForce's, I guess, whole companies. And we are public, they are private, but they're part of us. They built this product capability. So this company in Brazil, which is a reseller, it's a reseller of CRS though, But they're going to be pushing out one of our products, Guarded ID, as a StrikeForce. It's a StrikeForce product, but CRS is selling it. And they're definitely very, very big in Brazil. Oh my God, they have huge key logging going out there, larger than here. It's all over the news in Brazil. So they are pushing out our product, plus they're putting out their own cyber wellness product, which is a capability that people would love to have and know how to deal with cyber wellness to get on and be part of it. And they're going to be showing the capability of that in the very near future. And they're selling it to an insurance company that would bundle it in their own sales of the insurance to many, many people. And they feel that will be a huge capability. We're seeing it as a much larger deal than we even said it would be. But we don't want to say that too loud. So let's see what happens.
Understood. Mark, if you want to ask a little bit about that and the wallet as well, go ahead.
Yeah. And also I was going to follow up, a little bit about another recent press release, which was about, based on this Russia-Ukraine incidents, you've seen a lot of medical companies and hospitals that are using StrikeForce technologies.
Yeah, it's a very, very big deal, and that's why we put out that PR. I think it was last week only, talking about that, because it's a shame what's going on in Ukraine, and we feel very bad about it. But a large part of what's going on nobody sees. It's in the cybersecurity area. You're seeing the war, but you're not seeing the cybersecurity things that they're doing behind the scenes in this country, and that's what we feel very, very important. We have to fight and have the capability of fighting. And it's a big deal. So we feel very strong about that ability as well. And we're doing a lot in that process because we are a cybersecurity company, a big cybersecurity company. So however much they're doing things, our Guard ID stops a lot of cybersecurity. Our Privacy Lock stops a lot of Privacy Lock adds a lot of security to the computer because it controls your camera, your voice, your video, and all that. And that nobody else does. And that all stops cybersecurity capabilities as well. So we feel very strong about that idea as well.
And then works on Mac OS as well as Windows and Linux Privacy Lock as well.
As of right now, Privacy Lock does not work on a Mac. That's a good point. It does not work on a Mac because the Macs don't have the capability of you controlling the camera.
Okay.
So it does not work on that capability. But Safety Chat does, right? Safety Chat does work on every computer. That's just a web browser.
Go ahead, Mr. Verso.
Similar offering on your phones as well. But I was also curious about, is there any other industries, that because of these events have led to an increase in interest in StrikeForce Technologies products?
Well, again, we've seen, as you mentioned earlier, a huge increase in healthcare. I mean, we have a company working for us, and I don't mind saying who they are. It's Pipeline Zen. They get out there and do a lot of selling and a lot of phone calls for us, even though we're now making a lot ourselves. And they get a lot of companies who have interest, and they know how to do it and get them connected. And a lot of them are trying out our product, and a number of them are buying it. So we feel the healthcare business is a huge opportunity for us. Unfortunately, every business, well, fortunately, is a huge business for us because everybody needs video conferencing. Again, if you could secure your video conference, you can do anything on it. Holy mackerel. Imagine what you could do on anything you want to talk to and see and watch, and at the same time know it's secure. You can do all the things that you weren't sure you could do, that you had to do on a phone and you didn't know who you're talking to. This requires you to know who you're talking to. This requires the person to be the person you say they are, and you could see them face to face. It works beautifully on all that. So definitely healthcare. We feel it's also very important in legal. It's very important in finance. I mean, finance deals that go on have to be secure, very secure. We feel those are the three biggest areas that we could work on. And every two people in the world need to talk now on videos. And they'll probably, all the phones in the future will probably be video conferencing phones, as they've always shown in the past in the science fiction movies. But I think we're there. So we feel it's a great product in all those areas.
Besides security, what are some of the other competitive advantages of Safety Chat and some of your other products?
Okay, security is actually the main difference. I mean, it really is. So, I mean, we do, but what else is better? In safety chat, definitely, it's brand new technology. It is runs very smoothly. We're using a lot of Amazon. We work on Amazon, which most companies do these days. It's hard to find somebody who doesn't actually. But we have a lot of servers out there that we're connected to around the entire world. So we work very smoothly with many different companies. The software is very simple, very straightforward. We've constantly improved it over the past 6 months. I think right now, if this was a call on our safety chat, you wouldn't even notice anything going on, as you don't on this one as well. But definitely would be very smooth. Major advantages is I'm not sure there is anything beyond that, and security is so huge. I think that's the most major. And like I said before, if you don't need security, you can use Zoom. It'll work fine. But if you need any kind of security, which I think everything will in the future, but most things do now anyway, you have to use safety chat. You don't have a choice.
Understood. So you're not just, your product is not just safety chat. You have a lot of other services and products as well, it seems like.
Right.
The other big one is this wallet system, which you're getting 50% of the transaction revenue from. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's the same. That's the crypto business. And I can't talk too much about it because we haven't put much out there yet. But that's the one we get 50% of all the money they take in. So they're selling their coins for a price. They get the money in. They give us half of that, no matter what. And then again, they have at least 40 to 50 clients already that they're going to be selling. Some big names that people will be shocked to see. Holy Christ, they're doing it through them. And that'll all be out next week, supposedly. At least that's what they're telling us. So that's what we'll be doing as well.
Everybody's afraid of this crisis in Russia. Do you think your business will be affected by it at all?
I think it will be, but in a way, I think it'll be in a very positive method. Again, we're the only ones that do it in a secure way. So anyone in Ukraine that wants to talk to their relatives overseas or anybody else, doesn't have to be overseas, they're going to use Safety Chat if they have the capability or knowledge of it, because it's secure. And it does stop all efforts. And I think it would stop a lot of what Russia is trying to do from a cybersecurity point of view as well. So we'll be affected, but I think we'll be affected in a positive way. We definitely won't be hurt in what they're doing because they're doing a lot of cybersecurity, but not as much as what we have it installed already.
Very, very good. That's great to hear. And that's good to hear for the Ukrainian people if they need some type of software to conduct it right now, especially with family back home or abroad. Very interesting.
Providing they have some internet. I mean, that's a problem for them right now.
Right.
And Mark, before we leave the forum up to you to ask and tell our fans, anything that you would like about StrikeForce, wanted to leave off with the final question, which is, what is the plans to make StrikeForce profitable, and what is the path to profitability?
Yeah, that's a great question, and all my shareholders ask that to me probably every day lately. I ask it to myself, and the good news is we're still a small company. We're all here in the office right now, and we ask each other, and we discuss it amongst everybody. It's irrelevant what your title is. Everybody talks to everybody. It doesn't matter that I'm CEO or bottle washer. We all talk. And what we're definitely looking to do is focus the whole company more and more on Safety Chat. We see the future of this company is what we just built, what we're very knowledgeable of, and what is secure. And we know that that is a very key product with what we're doing, and definitely very secure. So we're actually focusing more and more on Safety Chat, on video conferencing. I think you'll be seeing us changing our website much more in that direction. We'll be selling a lot of Safety Chat, and who knows what we'll call it. Maybe we'll change name, maybe we won't. I don't know. I can't say, but we'll be doing a lot of Safety Chat, a lot of the API. API is a great product, a great thing that anybody can implement very easily in any program they wrote. I think that's going to go very smoothly with many, many companies. We just got to get a good sales team behind that, which we now have hired, obviously. and we got to figure out how to sell that product. But that's a huge product to sell it by itself. And then privacy lock, which really is an end product in terms of the computer itself and stops cybersecurity, and it does keystroke encryption, which is a very cool thing. Is very new, and we have to get that on there. And actually, with the Safety Chat Premium, it actually includes privacy lock. We just don't want to tell everybody that because then they'll get confused. Mm-hmm. But it includes all those features of privacy lock in cybersecurity. I mean, if Zoom bought it, if any of the other products bought privacy lock, they would be more secure than they are now. But of course, they don't want to be part of that. So that's fine by me. So we feel very strong that those are the main two products, the main ones that we're going to be concentrating on. You know, cybersecurity was still has guarded ID and still be pushing it out. We may just be concentrating on Safety Chat. We have to think about that, and we're talking about, but that puts us in less of a direction of planning. It gives us a more futuristic view of what we're going to be doing. It answers the next question you're going to ask about what am I thinking in the future. It allows us to get a lot behind, because straight video conferencing is simple. That's fine. That's no major future. But video conferencing with security, that's the way everything's going to go. Everything, everybody, all jobs, all capabilities, all discussions. People aren't working from the office anymore, and they're not going to. You know, COVID's stopping, but people aren't moving back into the office. They're still working from wherever they live. And Google made a clear note about that people can live anywhere in the world and still work for Google, but they want to talk to each other. And they're going to be talking about specific things that have to be confidential. And right. Safety Chat is a perfect tool to do that on.
And as a quick follow-up, you mentioned that you're hiring more salespeople in order to get the word out about Safety Chat. Do you have any other marketing strategies in order to, get out the word and make sure companies are aware of the brand new technology that you have and why it's better than, Zoom or Google Meets as we're using right now?
Yeah, that's another great question. And again, it's not necessarily better, but with security, it's a lot better. That's for sure.
Right.
We're doing a lot of marketing. Good news is we have a lot of money, so we can do a lot of the marketing. We're going to have ads coming out this Sunday, all on Bloomberg, on Fox News, all over on Safety Chat. We're going to be doing a lot more in the subways, on the streets. When you hook up your phone in New York City to charge it, you'll have to see a video. You'll see Safety Chat on there. So we're doing a lot of videos and a lot of getting it out, the word out there throughout the whole country as well, but mostly in the U.S. and mostly in the Northeast.
And I don't know if we asked this, but is there an option for a mobile application on iOS or Android for Safety Chat? Is that available, or is that something you're thinking about?
And that actually is now. I mean, there is an Android option and there is an iOS option, and they both run Safety Chat on there. They don't have all the exact capabilities that the computer does, but actually we're working on that right this minute, and we'll have that in the near future. That most of them are out there, most of the capabilities, and we're going to be adding a few more of the capabilities. But you already can run it on your Android or your Apple.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for answering all these questions and talking about your flagship product, which sounds like Safe VChat is your flagship product. Mark, Mr. Verso, do you have any further questions?
Yeah, I would just say that the last question I have, Mark, is there anything else that you would like to share with our potential shareholders at Wall Street Tactical?
Yeah, and again, I started talking about it before as well. I mean, our future is really going to be a lot different than where we are right now. We're going to be focusing much more on the video conferencing, and not just on video conferencing, but on secure video conferencing, on that white paper. That white paper is just the beginning of getting the world to get behind it. We're not even trying to get behind Safety Chat there. We're trying to get behind the white paper and have anybody and everybody get behind security with video conferencing, because that's where we're all going. That's what we're all going to be doing. And we're going to be working very closely with the government. We are getting connected in the government. I know everyone's pushing us. We're not there yet, but we are starting with our connections to get things done with the government right here and now. And we see that being a very important area for us that we haven't done anything with today other than talk to people. But now it seems we have an opportunity to move that forward. And we're working with some key players that are part of our advisory board as well as in part of the government. So we are pushing in those areas, and we're going to be focusing much more on the API. You're going to see a whole, excuse me, a whole product coming out, which is nothing but the API process. And, you know, if somebody has a great idea what we should call it, let me know. But we'll definitely put a name around that product as well. So,
I'm going to conclude with a couple things. Why is secure video chat important? If you could talk a little bit about key logging and what people who layman's might not understand what that is, keystroking, and I'll leave the closing statements to you. And thank you so much.
well, thank you. And those are great questions, obviously. I mean, safety chat, secure safety chat is extremely important. And yes, everybody can get on a video conference. They can get on Zoom and do a quick check and talk to somebody. But anything and by the way, everybody should know that now with all the Zoom bombs that have happened to many of you. You're in school and all of a sudden somebody's taking off their clothes. I mean, holy Christ, what could be more embarrassing? And you can't prevent it. You can't stop somebody from joining your call. That's embarrassing. So it's not just security. It's really, you just don't want to be bothered by others joining your call that have the capability. With our product, they cannot. Only the ones you invite. Now you have to take a few more steps to invite them, but it's just a one-time effort. Then the computer remembers who they are, and you can invite them regularly on a regular basis. But you can't be bombed. You know, it's and very, very simple. And key logging is a very simple case where on your computer, whatever you type, it gets stolen. It gets stolen easily from hackers. They do it all the time now. They don't even talk about it. They just do it. And Brazil has a huge number of hackers. Oh my God, it's all over the papers. Read the security articles in Brazil and you'll hear that key logging is the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems that they have related to it. So this company's buying tons of our product. And it's still a big problem here, but you know, nobody talks about it as much. So we feel that's a huge opportunity. Then you put the two together and you use it on Safety Chat, you have everything you need. There's no reason to go anywhere else. But if you want to, great, go. And then people buy multiple, video conferencing products. So buy something else and then buy ours and try it out. It's only a monthly fee of $15.95 in the premium version. $15.95 a month. If you don't like it, then don't buy it the next month. It's really simple, straightforward, and one of the best solutions anybody could ever have there. And I wish everybody the best of luck with that. And I wish the people in Ukraine, thank God, and hopefully the world gets behind you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Mark K. Thanks, Mr. Verso. And to everybody watching Wall Street Tactical, thank you. And check out Safe VChat and have a great day.
Yes. And if you'd like to buy StrikeForce Technologies, it's SFOR on the OTC markets. Thank you for your time, Mark.
Thank you, guys. And I really appreciate the opportunity.